right? If we have time, since our airspeed's looking pretty good, I'm going to save my engine, right? I don't want that thing working super duper hard, so I'm going to pull it back just a little bit, just so if anything else happens, right, yeah, we still got our engine, right?
Intentional engine out? That's a first. I fly in this 310 with Daniel, a multi-engine instructor from Brazos River Aviation Group, or BRAG. BRAG is a flight school located in Mineral Wells, just west of the DFW area in Texas. This flight school aims to bridge the gap between your average mom-and-pop flight school and their popular 141 programs. Their 310 sure is a nice airplane, and the cost for their multi-engine training is pretty sweet too. Thank you, Daniel, for the ride.
I'm Daniel Henderson. This is a Cessna 310 Papa model. It's a 1969, zeros made. I fly for BRAG, Brazos River Aviation Group. I've been here for about a year. I've got 145 hours just in this plane, so I mean, I'm fairly experienced. Wouldn't say I'm the best in the world. It's a really great plane. Max gross is 5,200 pounds. Its useful load is 1,700 pounds with no fuel, right? So you can do the math there. Its total capacity of fuel, including main tanks and auxes, is 140 gallons. It's 260 horse a side, so 260 on this side, 260 on the other side. It originally is designed to only have 2 prop blades, right? We switched from the, cannot remember which one it was. We switched from a 2-prop engine to a 3-prop, right? So we have the Form 337, it's STC, everything like that. So the 310, it is a conventional twin, so they both rotate to the right as seen from the cockpit. Knowing that, we know that this left engine here is our critical engine. So before I started here, the only multi-plane I'd ever flown is the Seminole. Right, so the Seminole only has 180 horse a side. Pretty big difference there, probably the biggest difference when it comes down to it, aside from the counter-rotating, right? So, like I said before, this thing doesn't have counter-rotating props. The Seminole does have counter-rotating props, but the speed and the power is the biggest difference between the Seminole and this thing, the 310. So the difference between the counter-rotating props and the conventional rotation like this is the fact that they both go inward, right? So as seen from the cockpit, they're both rotating inward towards the fuselage. The biggest difference there is going to be what identifies the critical engine, right? So the one that actually has the most adverse effect on you when it goes out, which being conventional is the left. Being counter-rotating, there is no critical engine. They both rotate the same way. They have both the exact same effects on the plane, one or the other being down. For multi-instruction, I believe it is $400 an hour that we charge, so it's pretty cheap. We have a package that we sell that, you know, just contact us for more information about that. I'm not gonna go through all that, but I stay fairly busy if I can. It just depends on people coming out here. Really, a lot of the students we get are from Fort Worth, looking for a cheaper flight school to go to. 310 being here, right, so they love the 310, everybody does.
All right, Daniel, you ready to go fly?
Yes, ma'am.
31 will be a departure to...
Oh my gosh, these glasses are
You like them?
magnificent.
So for people watching, I kind of take around a case of these flying eyes because that's what I use. And what do you think of them? You like them?
They're great.
I got like the
awesome.
big aviators. I got some other ones he sent me, but they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
So how do you like them with the bows?
They're really comfortable. Yeah. Like the biggest thing that I do most of the time is I have to like prop my glasses up with these old cheap ones that I have. But no, with these nice skinny
nice.
earpieces, it's amazing. Yeah. All right. For main here, everything's full up. I'm going to go ahead and lean it out just a little bit. Flaps coming up. These 2 bad boys need to come on. There we go.
And for the gear in this thing, is there like a manual hydraulic pump lever for?
There's a crank.
Crank, okay.
Yeah, so it's not hydraulic, they're electric.
Electric.
Yeah,
gotcha.
The gear is actually electric. It's electrically actuated here and driven. So there's just big old motors that actually push these gear down.
Gotcha. So that crank there, that's completely manual?
Yes,
okay.
100%. And in order to use it, you actually have to put this thing in an off position, so center it up, and disconnect your landing gear motor over here on the right side, or left side.
Gotcha.
Avionics in here are pretty nice, I will say.
No kidding.
Down to 12 here, I do 3 cycles most of the time just to make sure all that hot oil gets in there. Have you ever really done any high performance, like props? Okay, cool. So you know what's going on there.
Yeah, we typically wait for the oil to warm up a little longer in the airplanes we fly down there. But
yeah. She's in the green, so I'm cool with it. Balancing, all right. We'll just go down idle. 1710, close enough, so we'll do the left side on that one. Hey, 100 drop. I love it.
Hello, traffic 6
on to the right side.
4 miles to the east, proceeding eastbound towards Weatherford, last call, 3000.
Same thing, I love it.
So you say you've done a couple cross countries in this thing now. Have you ever encountered any icing?
No, thankfully, because this thing does not have any sort of
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. See,
anti-ice,
I see prop de-ice here.
Yes, it's got that, which is nice, but you know, I'd really like to have the leading edge stuff, which we don't have. So, but no, I mean it's
a trainer. You don't really need it anyway.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm around here anyway. Mineral Wells traffic. Twin says a 414 Sierra Golf, lining up 3-1, departing to the west. Mineral Wells. I didn't do this at ATP, but I read the POH for this thing. It likes to, the accelerate stop distance is based on getting to full power here. I like to get it up to 20 first, make sure the engines are all looking good here, and then continue on to full. Alright, so you're looking for 26, 25 there.
On a 6 mile final, 3-1.
There we go, now we're watching RPMs, backing them up a little bit. Airspeed's alive, engines are looking alright. And guarding it all. Alright. Positive rate. Still plenty of runway if need be. Alright, that's probably about enough. Gears coming up. A little bit of left rudder is what this thing likes. Everything's still looking good. Gears coming up. Pitching for 122 here. Gear is up. Verified.
So what's the first thing you do when you start getting your multi-rating?
Man, it's really just getting used to the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do is just get in it and fly it, you know?
3 mile final, 3-1.
But a lot of systems, really, the first thing I do when I teach people is just, 1 second, Mineral Wells traffic, Twin says a 414 Sierra Golf, making a left turn out to the west. But yeah, I mean, a lot of what I do is just get them used to the plane itself. You know, systems, airspeed, stuff like that. When they get in here, sight picture's huge, right? Because a lot of times I get people from Cessnas, right? They're not used to a low wing. Go about 20 and then 23 here. That's all I like to cruise it at. It can definitely do more. It's a really fast plane if you want it to be, but I just, you know, I'm time building and stuff anyway. I just take my time on it and I just treat the engines nice when it comes down to it. And we go ahead and bring these leans back one at a time because you don't want them both to die. But we'll just do a little bit because we're about to get into some of the maneuvers. Assuming I can hold altitude. Alright, so what we do this maneuver in, the VMC demo, is the clean configuration. So I got gear up, I've got my mixture and props full forward, and then we'll just go from there, right? There we go, managing the RPMs here. Altitude's looking good. The speed I like to do in this plane at least is 115 is where I start the maneuver at, right?
Okay.
So, I'm just going to bring these manifold pressures back as far as it takes to get down to 115 and hold it pretty good. And then what I'm going to do is drop this left one out. I'm going to kill our critical engine, right? So what I'm going to do is give me a little more trim, kill that left engine, give me some right rudder, full power on the right side, and full right rudder. And we're just going to pitch up to lose 1 mile an hour a second. Nice and slow, regulate those RPMs. But you see how I've got this thing fully maxed out? I cannot push any more rudder on that plane.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you'll pitch up. And the first indication of stall, which is right here, right above it, or loss of directional control, which starts to kind of happen at the same time. You can see it slowly peeling out. But the first thing I'm going to do is drop this thing idle and get off my rudder. Right. Then, get some airspeed back, full power right rudder back in there, holding that heading. And holding that airspeed, right? I want to shoot for blue lines, my airspeed I want. So I'm going to get a little nose down. I don't care about my altitude loss here. I just want blue line. Blue line and heading, blue line and heading. So I need a little more nose down even. So I'm just going to trim it out. There we go. Right, and I'm still simulating like I got that engine out. We're not using this one again. This thing's dead, right? We're just showing that we know where VMC is and how to recover from it, right? So there's blue line. Altitude's looking okay. We got just a smidgen of drift down, but that's okay. We're still maintaining right here with 111, right? So in order to fully recover from this maneuver, I'm going to slowly pull this right engine back, keeping my heading, keeping my airspeed. Just backing it up, backing it up. There we go. And then I'm going to get that left engine in there and walk off my right rudder. There we go. There we go. Hush up the gear horn. Speed's looking good. Says they're together. There we go.
And that just shows you what to do when you lose that engine.
Exactly, right? Well, it's if you lose the engine and if you are negligent of your airspeed and you are pitching up like you're trying to climb out, right? Say we lose it at 500 AGL. And we're just pitching up because we're scared, right? So it's showing that we know how to, if in that situation we either start stalling or lose directional control, we know how to get it back, right?
Yeah.
Instead of letting this plane flip us over and land us on our head, right?
Yeah.
So that's what the VMC demo actually shows, right? And get you fully aware of how that VMC works. So, all right, on to the next thing, the most fun thing. Let's go ahead and shut one of these engines out, show you what it looks like. All right, so we're just gonna slow this thing down. I'm gonna kill my right engine, or simulate kill my right engine by pulling the throttle all the way back. So, start it out here, boom, dropping the throttle. Heading and airspeed is the first thing you should be thinking about anytime you lose an engine, right? So everything's coming full up, right? Mixture props, throttles all the way up. All the way in there. Flaps are up, gear is up. Identify right foot, dead foot. Verify we would close the right throttle. And also look at our manifold pressure fuel flow. And then rectify, right? So we're going to feather this prop out, and we're going to cut that mixture. There we go, but heading blue line the whole time. See, heading blue line. All right, if we have time, since our airspeed's looking pretty good, I'm going to save my engine, right? I don't want that thing working super duper hard, so I'm going to pull it back just a little bit, just so if anything else happens, right, yeah, we still got our engine, right? There we go. Pulling this thing back a little bit, looking all right. Airspeed's good. All right, cool. So, really, truthfully, if you lost an engine at this altitude, I'm not going to run through and actually kill it down, right? But for the simulation, saying that we actually had to feather that engine like we're at 500 AGL, I feathered it and I cut that mixture, right? But say we did that and it ended up being some silly mistake, like someone reached up here and turned off our fuel selector for some reason, and we had to restart it, right? We need to know how to restart this thing. So, what we're going to do is hit our checklist, right? We're going to go here, heading blue line the whole time, constantly, keeping heading and airspeed. Engine restart and flight. So we're going to fuel selectors, both our main and main, heading blue line here. Throttle, we're going to advance an inch. It's also going to hush up that gear horn. Propeller, we're going to go full forward. This thing does not have an unfeathering accumulator, so I am going to have to run the starter. Seminole has it. It'll start up as soon as you push that thing forward. Okay. This thing does not. So mixture's going full rich here. Magneto switches, we're going to make sure that those are all on. Starter button, primer, we're going to start it just like we did on the ground. So, what I'm going to do is go prime to the right, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, holding it. Just a little bit of airspeed, give it a little airspeed. A little pitch down. You don't want to do too much because you don't want to lose your altitude. So, we'll give it a second, keep that airspeed over it, it might stop. Alright, so we'll pitch up. Keep our airspeed, keep our heading. Then we'll do it again. After we give it a second to kind of cool down, we'll do the exact same thing. So, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, a little bit of airspeed over it. Backing off the primer. Just little bumps when it starts to run. There it goes. It's starting to come out of the feather position. And as it comes out of the feather position, I'm going to have to watch my engine instruments because it will overspeed that prop. There it goes. Backing it up. Little nose down, key backing it up, because you feel all that drag, how much rudder I need now. Tons of rudder. I'm going to put that left rudder trim in there to help me out. But our airspeed's good. We've got that thing backed up. We're waiting for our CHTs, EGTs, and oil temperatures to look normal, right? We don't want to just full power back in there, you know, crack an engine block. It's just not good for the engine. So, we're going to let this thing warm back up, hold heading blue line if we can. Just let this thing speed up. There we go. Watching our right RPMs. Backing her up. There we go.
Wow.
That is the shutdown restart right there.
Now, they don't train critical engine fail like what we just did over here on this side. We don't do that with the critical engine when we're training, right? Or is that done in some training?
Yeah, it can be done. Yeah, okay. I've done it before. I just don't do it because, you know, it's just, you're just begging for something to happen, killing that critical engine. You know, it's so much harder to hold opposite rudder of that one, right? Because all the factors affecting that right engine, it's a pain. You know, it's not the end of the world. It's not that you shouldn't do it, but I just don't. It's just a safety thing for me. All right, there's I-20. There's the Baker Hotel. Mineral Wells is right there.
That's crazy. The feeling of looking out there and seeing a dead engine.
It's just completely stopped. You hear that? Boom, 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 boom. So that's our prop sync, right? So big thing there. It's more comfortability than anything, at least that I know of, because it gets annoying after a while. So, right, if you're flying a nice 8-hour cross country, total time, right? But if you're flying a long cross country, that wah-wah is just drive you crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it's just a lot of it, at least when you're at cruise, is RPMs here. You can kind of adjust it here, but like if I pull one of these too far forward and get it to be faster than the other, moving the throttles isn't really going to do anything. It's mainly the RPMs, right? So I'll go a little higher up. Interwalls traffic, Twin Cessna 414 Sierra Golf. We're 3 mile left base for runway 31. Full stop interwalls. Point. Speed is looking beautiful.
What's traffic November 8,
Just carry a little bit of power in here until you're ready to set it down.
Southwest will be turning
A little late there, kind of got picked up more than I wanted.
Runway 31, interwall.
Well, good deal. Well, thank you so much. That was a blast.
Thank you, yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for tuning in today at this episode of Flying Doodles, and thank you, Daniel, so much for taking me flying this 310. That was just a blast.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks
It's a
for the
good
opportunity.
time.
It's great.
Yeah, definitely. So where can people find out more about renting this airplane, or if they want to come out here and do your full program, where can they find out more about that?
Right, so you can visit our website, just look up Bragg Aviation Group, Brazos River Aviation Group, and you'll find it there. We have a whole website with everything you need to know on there.
Gotcha. Okay, good deal. Well, you guys go check that out. I'll have that link in the description. In the meantime, I've been talking about it. Go check out our new podcast. It's called Hangar Bums. It just launched a couple weeks ago. It's kind of our partner podcast. Basically, the deal we have going right now is if you go and subscribe to our Flying Doodles Patreon, I'll throw you in the Hangar Bums for free. So go check that out. It's really kind of a different vibe. It's a good time. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.